2 Kings chapter 7, verses 3 and 4, there are 4 lepers, and they are sitting there. Now, leprosy, back in the day, this would be a disease. We don't know if it was like exactly leprosy. It could just be some type of skin disorder, but it would make you unclean. I mean, at that point in time, you have certain rules where you're not allowed to be around certain people. You can't touch certain things. And here are these 4 lepers, and they're all hanging out together. You have to read the rest of even chapter 6 and chapter 7. They really go together. But when you read them, you find out that the Arameans, the enemy's army, has surrounded the city, and they have been encamped around the city for so long, and they're basically suffocating God's kids to death. They're not letting any food or water in. It got dark. I mean, it got very, very dark. Individuals were doing some of the most heinous crimes, even against their own family. You can read it. I don't want to say it because I might lose your attention. That's how horrific the things are that were going on in the text. So this is a tough place. It's a hard, difficult spot that they are in. They are in a place they do not want to be, like some of us. So they're sitting there outside the city gate. They're not allowed to go into the city because they're lepers. And they're sitting there, and they start talking to each other. And we get a look-see into their conversation. And these guys, we find out, are crazy. You got to have a couple friends like this, just so you know. You got to have a couple leper friends and it's a little bit off. You can't have everybody in your life that's just real squeaky clean. You got to have somebody be like, I'll pull up right now. You got to have a couple people like that in your life and in your corner. Don't get so saved that you can't throw hands, right? You want to make sure if something pops off, call your boy. The lepers are sitting there, and they say, okay, we're going to die here. We're going to die. If we sit here, we're going to die. If we go into the city, we're definitely going to die. But if we go to the enemy's camp, they're probably going to kill us too. But they might not kill us. With the enemy's camp, maybe they'll take us like as prisoners, and we'll at least get some food. So they're sitting there, and this deductive reasoning, they get to the place where they go, I know if I stay in this exact same spot, and I keep thinking the exact same way, and I keep doing the exact same thing, then this right here is going to bring me to a place of death. And I know I do not want to die right here. So I've got to do something. I like these guys. I like these guys because they do not get hung up on what they can't do. They start thinking about, what can I do? They don't get hung up on what I don't have. They start thinking about, what do I have? So for you and I am praying that while you and I are in those spots of frustration, we're in those places of like, okay, how do I get my company to that next level? How do I get my marriage out of this spot? How do I get my single life here? How do I get my thought life there? How do I get my physical body here? How do I get my finances there? I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. You and I get stuck so many times because like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I'm trying to get you to see it from another perspective. I wonder if the Spirit of God today could help you and I learn from some lepers, and some lepers would be sitting there outside the city gate, and they decided to say, I know some things I don't have, but I do have some things that I can do. At least there's an enemy's camp that I can head to. At least there's a place I can go. I wonder where you can go. I wonder what e-group is there for you. I wonder what prayer group is there for you. I wonder what campus pastor wants to lay hands on you to help you get out of the spot that you're in. I wonder what friend is there. I wonder who is around you right now that you can't see them because you keep thinking about what you don't have. And God's like, I have put you in a community of faith that will stand with you and stand beside you and help you become all that I've called you to be. What do you have? What do you have? What can you do? Because there's something. There's something you can do. It's something you do have. Because I can't stay here. I can't. If you're on a team and everybody on the team keeps telling you you're a complainer, but you say, I'm not a complainer, but you're like, oh, well, they keep saying you're a complainer, then you go, I'm not a complainer, then maybe you're a complainer. And it's a frustrating place to be, but you go, I can't stay here. And instead of just ejecting yourself out of the place where God has you, maybe he's trying to change something on the inside of you because he knows what he has for your future. So he's trying to tell you, hey, friend, I love you, but you can't stay here with how you think everybody's against you. You can't stay here with how you see the world. You can't stay here with how you process information. You can't stay here with how you just skip past the word of God. You can't stay here with how you don't ever pray and how you don't ever give and how you don't ever serve. You can't stay here. If you stay there, you will die. So these guys go, look with me in verse number 5. Look, come on, keep on going with me. We'll walk through the Bible here. You guys ready? You with me? You with me? Verse number 5, look, at dusk, chapter 7, verse number 5, at dusk they got up and went to the camp of the Arameans. Everybody say at dusk. Because that's important. At dusk, they got up and went to the camp of the Arameans. When they reached the edge of the camp, no one was there. For the Lord had caused the Arameans to hear the sound of chariots and horses and a great army. So that they said to one another, look, the king of Israel has hired the Hittite and Egyptian kings to attack us. So they got up and fled in the dusk. There it is again. And abandoned their tents and their horses and donkeys. They left the camp as it was and ran for their lives at dusk. The 4 lepers decide, okay, let's go. And they get up and they throw on their J's. They didn't have J's. And they start walking. They start walking at dusk. That's what verse 5 tells us. And in verse number 7, it tells us at dusk is when the enemy started running. So when the lepers got up over here, God caused a sound over there. They got up here, but something happened over there. Let me say it again. They got up and took a step here, and then God did a miracle over there. Honey, can you trust my phone? It doesn't, any phone. No, throw it to me. Come on, I can catch it. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I got hands, okay? So on my phone right here is iPhone 12. Sorry about that. I still have an upgraded Cricket wireless. If you got Cricket, God bless you. Do calls go through? With that being said, on my phone, I have the Nest app. Okay, Nest app. So I can right now go to that app on my phone, and if I change the temperature on my phone here, all the way back home in Dallas, the temperature changes at home. I did something here, but something happens all the way over there. This is a picture of what happens in 2 Kings chapter 7. It's also a picture of prayer. Mom, when you get on your knees and your kid is out at the party and you are praying here, it's God begins to do something over there. It's like the alcohol does not taste the same over there. They go to but they want to put it down because mom or dad is praying over here. There is something about taking a step here that God does something over there. And I need you and I to be a people that says, God, even if I don't see it, I will take a step when it doesn't even make sense. Here, there, here, there. This is how God works. See, you and I want to see it, but you don't get to see it unless you take the step. We say, God, show me, then I'll take the step. God's like, no, we're not doing it like that. We're doing it my way. And my way is the way of faith. My way is the way of trust. My way is the way that when the water is going crazy and the waves are crashing and it doesn't make any sense, that's when I want you to give. When it looks like the economy is going upside down, that's when I want you trusting me. When it doesn't look like things are moving the right direction, that's when I want you to say, God, it doesn't make sense in my brain, but I can't stay here. So I'm going to take the step you're calling me to take so I can do what you're calling me to do, and I can see a miracle that I would never see had I not taken the step. Let me show you a picture of my family. All of them are prettier than me, all of them. All of them are prettier than me. Okay, got my picture of my family. Look at this, look at it. Okay, here's the crew, here's the crew. This is an older picture right here. Our 19-year-old now has cornrows, which I cannot do because I'm bald. My wife's my best friend, okay? So she's my sexy piece of dark chocolate. I love her so much. She and I, 27 years, have been married now. It has gone by so fast. Still my best friend. I love her so much. So I got my beautiful wife, okay? We met in college, and she liked me first and was trying to, it's a long story, y'all. We'll talk about it at another time. But I'm so blessed. And then we've got our 19-year-old son, Parker, who is absolutely amazing. He's about to be a sophomore in college. Man, stolen our heart. Then we've got Grayson. He's our nerd. I mean, nerd. And plays the cello and football and does the viola and knows stuff about the sun. I mean, he's just a little bit, he's our nerd. We'll all be working for him one day, okay? So we love him so much. And then we've got my favorite child, who's my daughter, because she's my daughter. Girl dads, can I get an amen? Come on, can I get an amen, girl dads? I tell my sons this all the time. I like your sister more than you. That's why I say yes to her all the time, okay? You're lucky I'm feeding you tonight. Elle, what would you like? So love all of our kids so much. Our oldest, Parker, he's our biological son. Our last two are adopted. Something we always wanted to do since we were in college. And after we had Parker, and then we were like, we were both 50-50 on biological, but we were both 100% on adoption. So we were like, hey, let's go ahead and adopt, and then we'll just have some more kids later. So the adoption process ended up taking like 2.5 years. So we ended up not having any more biological kids. But when we first started the process, we drove about 3 hours up the road to our adoption center. And this was like the first meeting where they were gonna tell all these prospective parents what the process was like. So they're sitting there and they're telling us all what the process is like. And they bring in lawyers, and they even bring in birth moms who are making this courageous decision to, find a forever home for their child. I mean, just something that it's a heart of sacrifice and love that I almost can't even comprehend. I mean, courageous birth moms and birth dads. We got to meet some of their adoptive parents, and then they sit you down. They're like, okay, what type of kid are you looking for? And you fill out this questionnaire, and then at the bottom of it, they're like, how are you gonna pay for it? Now, for those who don't know, adoption is not free. Should be, but it's not. I'm talking like $20,000, $30,000. Now, if you got it like that, congratulations to you. You're like, oh, $20,000, that's nothing. I can do this right there. Okay, God bless you, okay? Most of us, we saw that on the line. My wife and I looked at each other like, okay, how you gonna pay for this? I wrote, give me that pen, honey. By faith. I wrote that right there. and turned in my application with confidence. So we're driving back home, 3-hour drive back home, and we're driving home, and I'm like, honey, how are we gonna pay for this? I know we put by faith in there, but how are we going to pay for it the next morning at our church to go to a men's meeting? I'm at this men's meeting, and we're setting up, and this guy comes up to me, and he says to me, hey, Earl, my wife and I heard that you're gonna be adopting. I'm like, man, how did you even hear that? We just started the process. So yeah, we're gonna be adopting. He goes, well, my wife and I, we've never been able to have kids ourselves, but we just sold this piece of land, and we want to be a part of your adoption story. Here's a check for $5,000. We took a step here. Then God was working there. I didn't know that when we took the step here, that God was working over there. But this is how God always seems to do it. So I'm asking you, what step is God asking you to take that you're not taking because you think the step is dumb? You think the step doesn't make any sense. You don't have the resources for the step. You don't have the connections for the step. You don't even think you have the favor for the step. You don't have the education for the step. And God's like, since when did I ask you if you have all the credentials to do the thing that it's going to be done by my power, my glory anyway? Take the step. I can't stay here. Well, counseling's not going to do anything for us. How do you know if counseling's going to do anything for you? Maybe you take that step there and God starts working on your husband or wife in that other bedroom. How do you know if you're going to get accepted to the school unless you send in the application? Go ahead and take the step here and see what God will do over there. How do you know if God can get you out of debt or not? If you keep holding on to all your money, of course you're not going to see a miracle. But what if you started giving and saying, God, I'll live a life of generosity? I wonder what God will do there.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Elevation Church. It's going to be a great day.
You're like in pre-experience mode right now.
So sorry.
We're with Elevation Plus
That's right
now.
That's right. Elevation Plus.
Yeah, we're here to thank the people for watching, telling them you guys should come back, watch more, because Elevation Plus has
everything.
That's right.
We got stories.
Yes.
We got creative elements. We have coffee, fam. What more do you need?
Nothing
else. So you want to make sure you like, make sure that you share, make sure that you subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
That's right.